Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is going to be a technical update on Bitcoin. I may start doing these bright and early in the morning just to start the day off, you know, things that I'm looking at. What technically can we see for Bitcoin? And yesterday we had the monthly close. So we had the monthly candle for July. We're really going to start off on the monthly chart and work our way right down because there's some key things going on right now. Bitcoin can't quite seem to clear that sort of 24k range. However, it may. Sometimes if you're kind of coming up and bumping your head on a range, you need a little bit of a pullback to kind of give you that springboard to then take the kind of resistance out with some momentum. So is that the potential play? We know we had the first essentially green, but of course I've got it white on the chart here, candle in around about 4 months, and you can see we are respecting the monthly close for July. We are now in August. It's the next kind of month and the first day of that month. So what happens today, I think potentially could set the pace for the month ahead of us. Remember, guys, we're still very driven by the macro. We will dive more into the macro situation in our daily cryptocurrency market updates. They'll come out around about 1 p.m, but we'll do a sort of morning update on the likes of Bitcoin. And then we'll cover altcoins when I get the time to do so. But today we're just really going to focus on Bitcoin and what we're sort of looking at moving forwards. So we know, good news that we had a green sort of monthly candle. The question is now, do we respect this or do we come back below the monthly close and into the sort of prior monthly range? That is going to be very key and significant and something that you really want to watch out for. So let's quickly go to the weekly. We're going to do a few things on the weekly. We're going to pull up a number of indicators. You guys know that ultimately I still think that the cryptocurrency market has lower prices to see and that we will get there eventually. There's a few reasons for the rally. A lot of them have a lot to do with sort of macroeconomic reasons, you know, interest rate pricing, and a number of other things associated with that. And you've got to remember that in a bear market, the price does not just go straight down. And is this, the real question that should be on everybody's mind is this the new bull market or is this just a relief rally in a bear market? And in my opinion, until proven otherwise, this is just a relief rally within a bear market. A few key things to watch. Some bullish things to look out for is the fact that you have now actually closed back above this 200 EMA. I'm not an EMA trader by any means, shape or form, or a moving average trader by any means, shape or form, but they can show relative strength and weakness in a market. And you can see you have now opened. You know, do you now use this as a kind of springboard? We will see. Just looking at some of the weekly indicators that we have here, and we'll leave the demand index alone. We'll first look at the accumulate and distribute index. You know, this downtrend is still very, very much supported. And you can see that within this downtrending indicator, which very much supports the trend that we're on. There's no bullish divergences there as of yet. You can see your money flow index, which looks at the money flow into markets, still very much supports the downtrend. And of course, your RSI is similarly making lower lows and lower highs along with the price. So there's no sort of bullish divergences yet to be had. This downtrend, in my opinion, is still very much intact. There's lots of things that support this. Very quickly talking about open interest, you can see that you have open interest really supporting this as well. If you have a rising open interest for anybody that doesn't know is just essentially looks at the amount of open contracts. So when you talk about longing and shorting Bitcoin, you'll do that through typically perpetual future contracts. You can see that they are continuing to trend upwards whilst the price is trending downwards. Very much supports the trend that we're in. So there's no sort of bullish divergences taking place that would make us think that, you know, this is going to be anything other than a relief rally. But it is good news that you've certainly held the weekly or you're holding above your 200 weekly moving average on the weekly chart. A couple of things to look at on the 3-day is potentially, you know, you're essentially getting your head hit here. And what I mean by that, and it's probably best to show this on the daily, is if we mark out a key level, and nice round numbers are always key, you know, everybody sort of targets them. If we look at your sort of 24k range or 24k level, you can see that Bitcoin actually hasn't pierced it as of yet. So if we just put a nice perfect 24,000 in, you can see just how we're reacting to the 24k level. And you can see all these wicks here. So there's a real fight taking place here. So we've not actually done a daily close. Have we done a 3 daily close above the... Yeah, so we've not done a 3 daily, a daily. Have we done a weekly? Or a weekly close above the 24,000 mark. So you can see that this is significant resistance. Going back to the daily, if you look at just how, look at the sort of wick action that you're getting here, you can see there is strong selling resistance. One thing that I don't like, okay, we've got a number of sort of things that are telling us this rally may continue, but we've got a number of things telling us that, look, there may be a pullback. Look at the sort of wicks that you're getting here, okay? These are selling wicks, right? So every time we've interacted with this level, we've failed to actually close above it. Not only that, one thing that I don't like to see in regards to strength is marginally higher highs. So this is kind of showing you that this rally is running out of steam. And it's been a pretty darn good rally. You know, if you take it from these lows here, Bitcoin essentially today is still up 31%, and at one point would have been up nearly 40%. Without really much of a correction, you know, the trend is technically you are still putting in here higher highs and higher lows. So until we see some sort of invalidation of this, you know, you can kind of expect the trend to continue. Some warning signs really for me at the moment are the fact that you're not actually closing above this 24k range. Now, will that get taken out with the start of the new week, with the start of the new month, potentially? Some things to pay attention to, though, is really the macro is still very much the driving factor behind the Bitcoin story and the cryptocurrency market as a whole. We've got some more key data coming out today. We've got the Australian interest rate hike. We've got the UK interest rate hike. We've also got non-farm payroll coming out on Friday. These are all things that I'll cover in more detail in my daily cryptocurrency market update. And there's a number of other things taking place, you know, whether that be earnings, and we're really yet to see how all this is going to affect the market. For me, I think there's way too much risk on the table. You know, from an investment point of view, from a trader point of view, I'll look for longs and shorts depending on what the market's telling me. Right now, whilst we're below this 24k range, we'll look for the short. If we can claim it and get back above it, we'll look for the long. That's really as simple as it is. You know, we're looking at these kind of nice big round numbers to play off against, and we don't really want to be doing much other than that, because this is a very, very skittish market. I don't know how many people watched yesterday's price action, but it was very, very skittish. Lots of people got wrecked. You know, you had this huge, I think it was nearly like a 3% wick to both the up and the downside, just really running everybody out that was looking to scalp this market. So for me, I'm really looking, before I get aggressively into a position, today really it's going to be about watching the market and seeing what it gives me. You know, do we manage to push above 24k? Do we look to reject and actually look for a deeper correction before potentially then taking out that 24k range? These are things I'll be looking out for. I'll be looking at other markets to kind of see the direction that they're going in. Maybe there's some sort of confluence with the cryptocurrency space. Just want to point this out, looking at our indicators here. You do seem to be somewhat running out of steam. So you are potentially making bearish divergences, even though albeit very slightly, on the likes of the RSI and the daily, the likes of the money flow index, and of course the likes of the accumulation and distribution index. So is this move potentially running out of steam? There's a number of things that do suggest that, and could we be looking at a deeper pullback coming down to really some of these, you know, key levels to watch is round about here. Do we get something like this before then we take this level? Potentially, but whilst you're hitting your head above this 24k level, I don't really want to be getting too bullish and longing this. I'd rather wait for the confirmation rather than just hoping and expecting a break to take place. You know, lots of people calling this the bottom for Bitcoin. It is way too early to tell that. You know, if you're saying that, really what you're doing is just hoping that it is. There's nothing really more behind it. And what you've got to understand is this is still very much a macro story that, you know, we don't really know specifically how it's going to play out. So even though I'm biased that there's more downside eventually, do I know that with 100% certainty? No. That's just my bias. That's, you know, my money's where my mouth is on that, and that's how I'm playing it. And again, I think the risk to reward for being an investor in this market at the moment, or just being sat on the sidelines and seeing how it plays out, you know, I think the risk in regards to investing right now far outweighs the reward, certainly currently. But we will see. It's going to be key. You know, how does this week open? It's looking potentially like it may be a bit of a positive open. You know, Bitcoin is showing a bit of strength here. We'll drop down to the 4 hourly very quickly. And you can see some things to pay attention to just on the 4 hour is we drew this sort of box of liquidity. Okay. So it's very interesting how you're now, you know, if you look at this, this is something that we were kind of coming up and really holding as support. But at many, many points, it's actually acted as resistance. You've now broken below this and you're actually holding back below it. So really one thing that I'd like to see is a reclaim of this and then a push back up to that sort of 24k range. You come up here, you keep hitting your head, it's likely that you're going to target these levels down here. So this is the real play that we're looking out for at the moment. You can see that this is kind of like, you know, you're running into issues here that you need to kind of start to clear before we look to take a position. If we continue to sort of come up and hit our head on this kind of supply zone, you know, we will look for the shorts down to sort of these levels down here, sort of your 22, 21k range. Really, at the moment, from a sort of intraday trading basis, we're just looking to take sort of range-based plays, and that's typically around 24k to 23k. If we fail that, we'll go to 23k to 22k. Nothing really majorly exciting or sort of swing-based at the moment until we do see some sort of significant price action that dictates this to us. So there's you know, quite a lot going on. Again, the thing that I don't like is these marginally higher highs. You know, this potentially it is going to spell a deeper correction here before you get that continuation. From a bullish point of view, you don't want to come out and take this high out down here, because then you're invalidating your sort of short-term trend, which is still very much intact with your higher highs and higher lows. We're seeing altcoins across the board pop off. Very quickly, we'll look at the hourly, see if there's anything to be had from here. And not particularly. You know, you have kind of broken down past this support zone here. Was this a potential trend line? Maybe. And does that mean that a deeper correction is potentially about to ensue? We will see. Again, pay attention to the monthly, see if we come back below the close. We are kind of battling with that at the moment, but what you have got to remember is we have only just opened up for this month. So it's going to be really key to tell. And is this just a bear market rally, or is this just is this the start of a new bull market? For me, until proven otherwise, this is still very much a bear market rally, and we'll see how far it goes. Some things to actually pay attention to, going back to the daily, is just how much hot air we've got up here. So it's not going to take a lot if you can hold this and actually use it as a kind of springboard to clear this area here and come back into this area of consolidation. That would still be in the kind of premises of a bear market rally, in my opinion. And we need to kind of see how we react here. You know, do we now claim these sort of levels and start to rehold and push into these? I don't think that's very likely, given everything on the table. But could we potentially see, you know, 2 consecutive months of a green close? Absolutely, we could. Certainly, given the fact that we actually haven't got another sort of Fed announcement, or we've got a few Fed announcements, but in regards to interest rates till September, we could potentially see, you know, this month be a green month. My issue is, when you look at the kind of macro situation, to me, it very much still leads to more downside. That was just a technical update on Bitcoin, things to pay attention to. If you've enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated, so as a comment. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the next YouTube video. Let me know if these quick, short and sweet Bitcoin technical updates are going to be useful, certainly daily. And I'll catch you all in the next video, hopefully. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.